Hello my trainer friends, Pokemonty here. Today we're running an Ultra League team that got me to Legend 2 seasons ago. However, with the new meta shift and the nerfs to counter and zap cannon, we are going to answer a simple question. Is this team still viable? The team is an ABA style, having 2 fighters in Annihilate and Poliwrath, flanking the once undisputed king of the Ultra League in Registeel. Reggie is running its standard moveset of Lock On with Zap Cannon and Focus Blast. Poliwrath is running Counter with Icy Wind and Scald, and Annihilate with Counter and Rage Fist. And for the second charge move, I was running the PV Poke recommendation of Close Combat for my first few sets, and I switched it up to Ice Punch after encountering a lot of Dragon types. So let's run it back and see if this team can still win in this brave new Ultra League meta. Jumping into the first match, we lead into Shadow Feraligatr. This is not a good lead for us, but we're going to still stay in here and play it out and just see what happens. They are going to throw a Hydro Cannon instantly. I'm going to shield it, and I'm going to look to fire off the Rage Fist, and we are going to start boosting up our attack here. The opponent actually shields that as well. We're going to continue to farm up. They're going for another Hydro Cannon. At this point, I'm double shielding. They fire off the Hydro Cannon. They swap into Zygarde. I'm going to throw a bunch of counters here, and I'm going to go into my Poliwrath. Poliwrath has a dominant matchup here. Doesn't matter what Zygarde throws, Poliwrath's going to be able to tank that with ease. It's just a crunch, and that is not very effective damage. We are going to fire back with an Icy Wind. And Zygarde might be a very bulky Pokemon, but look how much damage that Icy Wind does. My goodness. And at this point, they're going to fire off some more energy. It's going to be a crunch. And I'm going to get the farm down here unless they swap out. They immediately go into Tentacruel. And I'm just going to throw the Icy Wind here because my switch timer is not up. We know what time it is. It's Registeel time. We are going to bring in Registeel. And they're going to obviously make it to a Scald before I make the Zap Cannon. That's okay. I'm just hoping we don't get a debuff. And we do not, which is good. We're going to fire off the Zap Cannon here. And this will inflict a sizable chunk of damage, but they shield this. Okay. So they are going to fire another Scald. I do not have any more shields, but luckily for me, a debuff doesn't come through. They bring in Feraligatr, but I'm going to be able to make it to the Focus Blast before they have a chance to get to a Hydro Cannon. So down goes Feraligatr. See what the opponent is going to do in this situation. They bring in Tentacruel, and I'm going to farm up here, and I'm going to predict whenever they're going to throw, and I make a catch on the Poliwrath. My Pokemon go ++, swiping Pokestops for me in the background. My goodness, this game is crazy. They undercharge it, and they're going to get a pretty healthy farm down now. So what am I going to do? I'm going to bring in Annihilate. I throw instantly. They make a great catch on the Zygarde, but this is just going to boost my attack. Down goes Zygarde. I throw my Close Combat. It's resistant, but it is boosted. This should do just enough damage to put Tentacruel into farm down range, and that allows us to win this game. GG's. Next match, we're leading into Greninja. This is a great lead for us. We're doing super effective damage with the counters. The opponent's going to stay in here, and they're going to throw off a Hydro Cannon. I'm going to no-shield this Hydro Cannon. Lands does get me into the yellow. I'm going to continue to farm up, and I throw on alignment. I allow a free Water Shuriken through. Then that's on me. I do throw the Rage Fist, looking to boost up my attack. They get to another Hydro. I'm going to shield this. I'd rather take swap than shield advantage. And they go down. So we'll see what the opponent decides to do. And they bring in Primarina. Oh my goodness, I'm going to get farmed down here. Luckily, I make the Close Combat. Now, I couldn't switch instantly into Registeel because they would just switch right out. And my Poliwrath would have a very difficult time against Primarina later in the match. So I'm bringing in Registeel here. They are staying in. They're going to throw a Hydro Cannon. This is the Ultra League, so Reggie tanks that pretty comfortably. I'm just going to throw a Focus Blast here. Zap Cannon, I think, in this range would be overkill. They shield the Focus Blast. So we are at shield parity, 1 apiece. I'm going to farm up here. They allow me to get to another Focus Blast, and I mean, this is good. This is good right now. And they shield again. So now they are down shields. They're going to finally throw energy here. I'm going to no-shield this because I think I can probably get the farm down with Poliwrath before they make the next move without taking too much damage. I do. And they bring in Ferrothorn. So they were weak to Reggie in the back. This is going to be a very tricky game now. So we're going to throw the Icy Wind first here to lower their attack output. And I'm going to continue to farm up, and they're going to throw some energy here. I have to shield somewhere. I decide to shield here. Power Whip is going to be shielded, and I'm going to throw the Scald, and I gotta hope, is this going to be enough to KO Ferrothorn? We're about to find out. And they live on 1 HP, and they get to a move. This is going to be close. Am I going to survive this? And of course I survived. It's Poliwrath. We take the win. GG's. We see a Nightmare on the lead in the next match, leading into Clefable. Now, I'm ABA to Clefable. I have to stay in and just play this out and see what happens. I am going to throw a Rage Fist, and the opponent's going to let that through, and it lands. They're going to continue to farm up, and they're going to throw some energy here themselves. I am going to shield it because I respect the Moonblast. That will one-shot annihilate, but they do full send the Moonblast. If you might notice here, I'm on Ice Punch as well. The one time I wish I had close combat, but it is what it is. I'm going to throw another Rage Fist. I do grab a shield from them. I am going to shield back again because I fully expect them to send another Moonblast, and they do. And now I'm going to farm up and throw another Rage Fist. And this will come close to knocking out, if not knock them out. So we'll see what they decide to do. And they shield, so I know they're going to throw the move. I make a catch onto Registeel. And did we catch the Moonblast? You bet we did. So we're going to farm up with Registeel. Opponent's going to stay in. They're going to bank a Moonblast for later. They're going to go into Licky Licky. And I'm immediately throwing the Focus Blast. Now, Licky Licky in the Ultra League, they can run Solar Beam, Shadow Ball, Earthquake. So it's really a surprise guess to see what they're running. And of course, they're running Earthquake, the one I wish they weren't running. So we're going to just get rid of this Pokemon immediately, and we're going to throw our Focus Blast, and down goes Licky Licky. Now, what does the opponent decide to do? They bring in Guzzlord. I am going to more than likely make it to the Focus Blast, and my finger missed. My finger missed the bubble, and they get to a move, and it KOs. I might be in trouble now. I bring in Poliwrath. I immediately go back into Annihilate because I fully expect them to snipe me with the Moonblast, and they do. Down goes Annihilate. Poliwrath comes back in, and I'm getting a healthy farm down. Wait a second. I think I might just win this game. I'm going to throw the Icy Wind. Super effective damage, and it also lowers their attack. And yeah, looking at my health bar, they're not going to be able to KO me here with 2 moves. They are going to throw off some energy now. It's going to be the Dragon Claw. I'm going to make it to another Icy Wind. The opponent realizes it, and they top left, and we take the win. GG's. Okay, we're leading into Skeledirge. Now, this is a very negative lead for Annihilate. It was playable back in the day whenever Annihilate was on Night/Shadow Ball, but obviously that's not the case now. I'm just going to throw the Rage Fist here. They let it go through, and they're just going to continue to farm up here, and I'm going to have to shield this. Now, I might have been able to swap into Poliwrath, but I just wanted to play this lead out and just see what happens. I'm going to throw another Rage Fist here, and this will probably grab their first shield as well. It does, and they're at another move, and I'm going to double shield. They throw the Disarming Voice, and they go into Feraligatr, so I count 5 Shadow Claws, and I swap into Poliwrath, and I catch the Hydro Cannon. So we're in business so far. Now, all of Feraligatr's moves are going to be resistant to Poliwrath, so they're going to throw off another Hydro Cannon here, and this will get Poliwrath into the yellow. And now I'm going to go as far as I can before I have to throw a move, one before they get to a Hydro Cannon, and I'm just throwing the Icy Wind. This will KO if they don't shield it, and they let it go. So we'll see what they decide to do here. They bring in Cobalion. And see, I expected them to throw right here, so I was trying to CMP time them, but then I realized they were just farming me down. So I throw the Icy Wind, and that was my mistake. They're going to be able to completely farm me down. They have so much energy. It's debuffed, but they have so much energy. So I bring in Registeel. They immediately throw. So this is probably going to be a... Oh, it's a Stone Edge. Okay. That was odd. So they go back into Skeledirge. I bring in Annihilate. I throw the Rage Fist. They shield it. And they're just going to farm me down here. But they throw energy. They easily could have just got the farm down. But they lost track of where my energy was. Down goes Annihilate. And now I can't go for Focus Blast here. That won't KO. I am forced to go to Zap Cannon before they get to a move and I make it. I throw the Zap Cannon. Down goes Skeledirge, and I need to get the Focus Blast before they get 2 Sacred Swords, and I don't think I'm going to be able to do it. It's going to be close. They throw their first. They're 3 away from their second, and I am not going to outpace them, and they're going to make the Sacred Sword, and this is going to be a loss for this team. GG's. Hopping into the next match, our opponent is emptying the Spice Cabinet with Shadow Machamp. Great lead for us. They swap it in Typhlosion, and I really don't have a good response, so I'm going to stay in here. I'm going to throw the Rage Fist here, and we'll see what the opponent decides to do, if they shield or not. They don't shield, so now they're deep into the red, but here's the problem. They're at back-to-back Thunder Punches. I'm going to have to shield one, and my counter goes through, so this will KO them, and I think I can survive it, so I'm going to let the second one go, and I do survive it. And they bring in Feraligatr. I'm going to be able to make the Rage Fist here, and this is a boosted Rage Fist, so the opponent should respect this, and they do, and down goes Annihilate. Now here, I would normally bring in Poliwrath, but there's a Shadow Machamp, and I need Poliwrath for later, so I send in Registeel. They swap in the Shadow Machamp, and I bring in my Poliwrath. They're throwing energy. I'm going to no-shield the first, and they actually close combat. Oh my goodness. Okay, well, we are going to throw our Icy Wind to debuff them here. This might mean they're on double nuke, but here's the thing. They debuff themselves, and this is simultaneous KO. So I bring in Registeel, we still have a shield, and we take the win. GG's. We see Guzzlord on the lead in the next match, and this is a good lead for Annihilate. The opponent is staying in, and we're doing super effective damage with these counters. The opponent's going to throw some energy here, and we are going to immediately no shield. It's a brutal swing. They bring in Tentacruel, so I'm going to farm up a few counters, and I'm bringing in Registeel. This is where Registeel shines. He shuts down Tentacruel. They're going to throw a Scald here, and they do get the attack debuff, which is a bit annoying, but there's not much we can do about it. We are going to fire back with the Zap Cannon here, and they shield it. Okay. And no attack debuff for them, so that's a little bit of unfortunate luck as well. They throw another Scald, and no debuff this time, so that's good. We are going to farm up to the Zap Cannon, and we're going to see what they decide to do here. And they double shield Tentacruel. Okay, so we're going to stay in here. They're going to throw energy, and I'm more than happy to shield now. And I fully expect them to try to catch back on the Guzzlord, so I am going to overfarm here. I am correct. And Guzzlord is going to get smacked with the Focus Blast here. And there's nothing they can do. I bring in Poliwrath. I snipe with the counter. The opponent brings back in Tentacruel. They're going to farm up and throw some energy here. And I'm more than happy to not shield this. It's just going to be a Scald. No attack debuff, which is good. We're going to farm up. We're going to throw our Odin Scald here. Again, resistant, but it's the stronger move of the two. And I'm getting very close to being able to farm them down. I do get an attack drop, which is nice too. So this is going to be very close. I'm going to farm them down. Can I make it? And I don't. So I decide to shield this because I want to debuff whatever comes in. In comes Talonflame. Now I throw the Icy Wind. Now you would be saying, well, Scald does more. Hear me out. Throw the Icy Wind. We're going to debuff their attack. We're going to continue to farm up. We're going to make a catch onto Annihilate. So this will knock out Annihilate, but because we only threw the Icy Wind earlier in the match, we have enough residual energy to make it to a Scald, and this will KO the Talonflame, and we take the game. GG's. Okay, we're leading into Galar Moltres in the next match here. And I'm decided to stay in here because now I am running Ice Punch, so that will be super effective damage. So I am going to throw my Ice Punch here, and we'll see what the opponent decides to do. They're going to let it go, and they're in the yellow. Now, this is a 50-50 call. They could maybe bait me with the Ancient Power, or they could full send the Brave Bird. They full send the Brave Bird, so that proves to be an excellent shield. They're going to farm up here with Feraligatr, and I'm going to make the catch on the Poliwrath. It's a very predictable catch, and it's a catch I've made quite a bit with these matches today. I am going to continue to farm up here, and they are going to throw another move. I'm going to no-shield it because, again, Poliwrath can take these Hydros all day long. Now, I'm going to farm up and throw the Scald. The Icy Wind would not KO them here. The Scald more than likely would, or it's going to be very close. They live on 1 HP, but I am able to get the counter down. And we'll see what they decide to bring in. And they bring in Golurk. And I just lost this match. I don't have a response to Shadow Golurk, but I'm going to try to play my way out of it because you honestly never know when the opponent might make a mistake or they might lag out. So we're going to throw the Rage Fist here. They shield that, and they're at a move, and this is going to be the Shadow Punch. And I have to shield this because Reggie will just get absolutely destroyed. So I'm going to make another Rage Fist, but it's CMP tie, and Shadow Golurk's going to win that by a mile. And I get knocked out. In comes Reggie, and I just top left. GG's. The Nightmare lead returns for our final match, Clefable. So we are going to play this match out just like we did before and just see what happens. We are going to throw the Rage Fist here. We're going to boost up our attack. Opponent lets it go through, which is to be expected. And they are going to throw energy too, and I'm going to shield because it's more like the Moonblast than it is. So we're going to farm up the Rage Fist, one past it actually, and we're going to boost up our attack again. And will the opponent match shields with us this time? They don't. So now they're deep into the red. So I'm willing to double shield this and just farm them down unless they swap out. They don't swap out, and I just get the farm down. They're going to bring in Feraligatr, and I'm going to throw this Rage Fist. They have to respect this is a double boosted Rage Fist. This will do a lot of damage. They are going to expend their shield. And Trainer, you are not going to be able to farm me down before I get to another Rage Fist. And guess what? Just like that, we're back to shield parity, or in this case, no shields. I bring in Poliwrath. They are going to throw their Hydro Cannon. They throw an Ice Beam. That's interesting. And they bring in Gastrodon. I want to keep my Registeel away from this thing, but unfortunately, I'm going to have to bring him in here in a few seconds. I'm going to throw my Scald to do some chip damage. I bring in Registeel. They're going to throw their move, which is more than likely going to be the Earth Power. And that's going to be massive, super effective damage. Gets me almost at half health. Now I am at half health. I can make the Focus Blast here before they get to the other Earth Power, and this will knock them out, thankfully. So now they bring back in Feraligatr, and they're going to try to double up here on Hydro Cannons as close as they can. And they're pretty much forced to throw a move here, or I would get to a move. So the question is, can Poliwrath survive a Hydro Cannon and some Shadow Claws? We're about to find out. Feraligatr's going to throw his Hydro Cannon, gets Poliwrath deep into the red, but I'm able to farm him down right before he gets the second Hydro Cannon, and we take the game. GG's. Now we reach a decision. Is this team still worth running in the current meta? The answer is, drumroll please, not really. Out of the 25 matches I ran with this team, I only won 10. With the new meta the way it is, alongside the nerfs to counter and zap cannon, this team just isn't as strong as it used to be. And as you climb elo, the matches get tougher and your opponents make less mistakes. So this is definitely not a team I would recommend for climbing. Although I did have fun running it one last time. If you're looking for a good anti-meta team, check out my other video where I ran Bellybolt in the lead. Those were some fun matches. Anyways, with that being said, I appreciate you all for watching. Like this video and subscribe to my channel if you're enjoying my content, and I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. Pokemonty out.